Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Press Box. This is John Carter along with Shaun Sharrow, and today we've got a chance to talk to you about the St. Clair boys varsity basketball team, and really a pretty good season going on so far. So tell us a little bit. You've got kind of a two-game winning streak going on right now, right? And a little bit of momentum going. How do you see the team so far this year?
Well, I think most nights we've had great effort and that the kids have bought into playing a little bit more of a pressure defense style. This year we're a little bit smaller than we've been the past 3 or 4 years. So kids have bought into pressing full court, and I think we're 5-3 right now, and like you say, we're 3-1 in the league. So we're pretty happy with where we're at, and we've seen a lot of improvement the last couple weeks.
So what are a couple of strengths of the team this year, do you think?
I think just the intensity, and that we have some kids that maybe play with a little bit more emotion, wear their emotions on their sleeve. I was really proud of the Sterling Heights game. I told the boys that might have been one of the best effort games that I've had in my 9 years with the varsity team, and it was definitely one of our top few performances in terms of diving around and just intensity from the opening tip till the final buzzer.
Yeah, that was really noticeable. And it's always good in high school basketball when you score more than 70 and hold your opponent under 40. I really was noticing this great intensity that entire game. You're pressing a lot, very good defense, and it seemed like we really shared the ball as well.
Yeah, our offense, we worked on trying to run our offense a little bit more. I think early on in the year we were taking quick possessions thinking we were going to score more points, and we're starting to understand that even if it takes us 15 or 20 seconds and we get a better shot, that we're going to score more points. So I was real proud of our discipline of when we didn't have things on the break, getting into our motion stuff and getting some cuts and getting the ball moving a little bit. And then, as you noted, the defense kind of just stuck out coming out of the locker room 27-5 in the third quarter. So it's hard to lose games when you put a quarter on them like that.
That was a tremendous run. So one of the other things that struck me is you went to a rotational system in that game. I don't know if you're continuing with that, but bringing in 5 at a time. What's the thinking behind that?
Just that we want our kids trained that they're only going to play 3 minutes, and if they're playing our system the way it's supposed to be played, they shouldn't be able to play more than 3 minutes at a time. So we started right from day one doing that, and we struggled a little bit at the Christmas tournament, but we made sure after Christmas that we re-emphasized that you're only going to get 2.5, 3.5 minute rotations, and I think the guys are doing a great job with that, and it keeps everybody involved, and
right.
Kind of tagging the next guy in to do his job.
Well, and also I think speaks to you've got some depth. You pointed out probably one of the shortcomings, no pun intended, is you don't have a lot of height this year. How are you compensating for that?
We're just trying to emphasize blocking out,
right.
And we are trying to create a little bit more turnovers and get it going up and down. But I mean, even though we don't have height, we do have some kids like Darren Rutledge that are big, strong, AJ Aguilo,
right.
that they're sometimes strength can gain you some inches. Even
right.
at 6 foot or we're at 6'1", 5'11", but when they bench press and their legs are strong, I mean, they can move some kids, and they're buying into doing that.
Yeah, when they hit their hands on the ball, it's probably theirs, right?
Right, and the other big thing is like we are decent sized at the guards. I mean,
right.
Like we do have a couple guards like Davison's 6'2", 6'3", pretty
right.
good athlete. So we've been trying to emphasize that sometimes our bigs may just have to try to take their bigs out, and then our guards got to come in and swoop in and get some boards for us. And Jansen's doing a pretty good job of that. Buddy gets down there and does a good job of getting some longer rebounds.
Right. So tell us what happened in the Warren-Lincoln game. I think we won 56-48 on was that Tuesday? Tell us a little bit about that game.
We had a good first half. We were up 30-11. We had another 4 or 5 point quarter in the first half. So the defense is really dictating a lot of our stuff. As a team, we were a little disappointed that we didn't close it out. We kind of played even with them in the third, and then in the fourth quarter, we gave up a lot of offensive rebounds, and they started trapping a little bit, and we had some empty possessions where we had turnovers. So, we need to learn that we need to close a team out on the road when we got them down 20.
Yes.
We were hoping that it would have went to 30 and been more like the Sterling Heights game instead of them getting it back down to single digits. But we stayed positive. It was a road win, and we got some film the next day. And I think just like anything, if we can learn from it while getting a win, it might be a blessing that that it happened.
Sure, and he got the W. So thinking, going forward a little bit, I mean, obviously Ben Davidson's been playing great, but kind of looking for maybe a secondary scorer. What do you think going forward you can kind of help out with the offense with Ben?
I think the big thing is just us shooting the ball well. Buddy had 4 threes against against Lincoln the other night and had 13. Devin Dombrow's stepped up in a couple games and hit some threes for us. Mario's a good player. But I think, we'd like to get a lot of guys 4, 6, 8, 10 points and have 5 or 6 guys, contributing along with Ben getting his points. And again, I think a lot of it is us just getting a better feel for our offense and getting some layups and some wide open threes. But I think the good thing for us is that we're a better shooting team than what we've showed so far. I think once our guys keep getting more games under their belt, that our goal is to start getting around 10 threes a night, and we've had a couple games at 8. And I think as the season goes, I think there's gonna be some nights where we get to double digits in threes because we do have some kids who can stroke it.
Okay, very good. Well, let's turn it over now and speak to the captains, Darian Rutledge and Buddy Broski. Okay. Well, listen, I'm here with, as I said before, Darian Rutledge and Buddy Broski, the captains of the team this year. And guys, first of all, congratulations. Nice job so far in the year. Tell me a little bit about your responsibilities. What do captains do for the team? Darian?
We're supposed to be leaders and lead by example and also by lead vocally. But we kind of expect everyone on this team to be a leader, as most good teams do. And so we should set the example, but we expect everyone to follow.
Okay. So, Buddy, there's quite a few, I'll call it, younger players on the team. You've got a number of sophomores and juniors on the team. What are some of the things you try to do to make them feel more comfortable and help them get a feel for the varsity basketball?
From day one, we pretty much just draw a line and say, this is what coach expects. This is what we got to do. Bring energy every single day. They catch on. We just emphasize every day that the learning curve's got to grow in each and every practice, so we don't fall behind and we can make progress on the season.
Okay. So, and with some of the players, is there an issue where they've got to learn things they don't know at this point, or is it more just getting ready for the intensity and the kind of the athleticism of the varsity level?
I'd say it's more buying into the intangibles. We emphasize not turning the ball over, getting rebounds, offensive and defensively, and running through the offense while playing defense really hard and bringing energy. We have 4 keys, and it's not really about scoring. That takes care of itself as long as we're taking care of the intangibles. And life's good, and our program is going to keep getting better. Yeah.
So, Darian, one of the things, you were a football player, as was Buddy. What's different preparing for basketball versus football?
You got to get in a lot better shape, especially me being a lineman. I don't run around too much in football, but basketball, there's a lot of running and not as much hitting, even though I try to hit a few people, but
in a good way, of course.
In a good way, exactly. But it's completely different. You really can't compare them. Just a lot of running, and you got to learn a whole different set of plays and everything, and a different footwork, and a whole different set of muscles that are sore the next few days.
So, put you on the spot. Which drill that coach does do you like the least in practice?
Least would probably be.
Is there a lot to choose from? Is that why you have to think about this?
I don't know. It's pretty much all the same stuff. We're going competitive all the time. I kind of like that. A lot of people probably don't like that, but I like to think I'm kind of crazy, and just being competitive, getting in drills. Probably my funnest, the best drill is probably the war drill, where we just go head to head and you can knock bodies, throw people on the ground.
Is that the one that Izzo's famous for, where basically anything goes on rebounding?
I've heard of that state drill. Yeah, it's similar to that.
Okay. So, hey, we had a really big crowd last week at Sterling Heights. What does having a big crowd like that do for you guys?
It's amazing. It's a completely different atmosphere when you're at home and you got a big crowd and playing in front of all your friends. It gets you hyped up and it makes you play better. And even when we're not bringing energy, the crowd is, and that helps us out a ton. If we're not scoring for a couple minutes, we still have energy to get a stop and get some momentum started.
Excellent. So, buddy, as a senior now, you kind of look back, you played basketball all the way. What would you wish you had known as a freshman that you know now as a senior?
Probably just keep getting in the gym. I started getting in the gym after my freshman year, and it showed. I started knocking down more shots, but like to middle schoolers and even elementary, if you want to be good at something, you have to get in the gym, get shots up, go to camps, just really focus on improving your skills and make big jumps each and every year. Don't try to stay the same, and it'll show. It should show.
Good. Darian, Coach mentioned, and it's obvious you're not a 6'5" power forward standing here, but what do you do to make it work as kind of an undersized, at least not as tall power forward?
I just use my strength. I'm stronger than a lot of the 6'5" guys, and so you just got to get in front of them and push them out on defense before they get the ball, push them out of the lane, and they can't score usually from 10, 12 feet. And rebounding, you take them out of the play, and like he said, let Ben and Mario and some of the guys who are bigger than me come get the ball.
Okay. One of the other things I thought was interesting and noticed in the Sterling Heights game is you're a very good passer, particularly interior, inside on the zone. What do you look for when you get that ball in there and try to find someone open?
You just look for the open guy. Usually when I get it in the inside, the defense condenses down, and that leaves a lot of guys open, and they can all shoot. So whoever I see first, I usually give it to.
Okay. So, buddy, Coach mentioned about the enthusiasm. I think if there's one thing we can say about you is you're enthusiastic both on it when you're playing and on the bench. So what do you try to do for your team by doing that?
I just like keeping the energy high and getting them pumped up. I mean, like when we get a big play, big stop, or diving on the floor, loose ball, just getting the crowd into it, screaming and yelling your head off and getting people pumped up, and you just play better that way. Yeah. More fast paced.
It feeds off both the crowd and the players going back and forth, right? So, Coach also mentioned you've had a couple of good scoring games. What's happening to have you have a little more confidence in your outside shooting?
I'm just getting shots up. I try not to shoot as much, but when the opportunity's there, I shoot. And, I mean, it starts on defense. Like I said, I really don't care. I could care less about scoring or hitting shots, but we go off the motto, get stops, make shots. So you got to get the stops, get the shots.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, ignoring the fact that Coach Sharrow's in the room, so what are the idiosyncrasies from Coach Sharrow that everybody in our viewing audience has to hear about? He mentioned his voice. Normally, isn't he kind of hoarse by this time of year?
Yeah, he's usually hoarse a lot earlier in the year, but I mean, I guess that means we've been playing better.
So, buddy, there's got to be someone that does a pretty good Coach Sharrow imitation. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I've heard Brad Robbins, the girls varsity coach, can do a pretty good job. You got to get your voice really low and like, take a 30 and walk around. And you just got to come with a lot of energy and you just get pumped up. He's a really, really, really intense guy, and I think that's why we connect really well is just the intensity is always high. There's never a down practice. We don't have days off or even our walkthroughs are high energy. Like today we went an hour and 15 and we were hitting bodies. Coach was jumping in drills and knocking people down. Just as long as you're high energy and really intense and you want to fight your teammates at the end of practice, you did your job.
That's great. Well, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks very much for coming in, and we'll turn back here with Coach Sharrow to kind of close it up. So, Shaun, kind of to wrap up here, you've got Madison tomorrow. What do you know about them?
They are similar to Lincoln, athletic, not real big. They like to press. They get up, ball pressure. They have a lot of turnover. They're a little bit younger than they were last year. Last year, they were by far the second best team in the league, and they got us twice pretty good. So we're ready for them. I think they're similar to what we saw on Tuesday, maybe a little less zone, but we'll be ready to go.
Excellent. So looking forward to the remainder of the season. Obviously, everybody's kind of looking up at New Haven right now. They've got a great team, but I mean, what do? You're really well positioned. Just one loss in the league. Excellent, job so far. I mean, how do you think we're going to attack them, and what do you see going forward?
I mean, the biggest thing. I try to talk ahead with the guys because opportunities are there for us.
Right.
We're still in a league race, but we're worried about tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but it's always good. Like, I mean, I don't mind at times to talk about what's still out there for us. And we know that, you know, the big games in basketball are played in February
Right.
and March. But in terms of the league race, we just got to keep our head down and keep pumping right now. I mean, to get to back to the New Haven game. So we've got a little bit of work to do, but we're excited with the group we have. I mean, I got great leadership with our captains, and just as a whole, we see kids getting a little bit better every day. Kids coming out of their shell, communicating, doing the things that we need to do. So we're excited. We're excited to be in a race. We're excited to be in the gym every day, and we always try to emphasize, don't waste days together. I mean, the seniors, I think, realize it more than the younger kids, but they know their days are numbered around here, and we're going to make the most of them.
Now, Shaun, thanks again for stopping by. Great tradition of St. Clair basketball. You guys are continuing it again this year. Wish you all the best of luck in the season going forward.
Thanks, John.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
All right, everybody. This is John Carter along with Cameron Logan Mead. Thanks for joining us here on Press Box, and see you again soon. Good night, everybody.